Conor McGregor just pulled off one of the boldest returns to the fight world, without throwing a single punch. In a scene that felt more like a hostile takeover than a press conference, McGregor showed up at the BKFC Champions Summit in Hollywood, Florida, locked eyes with Mike Perry, and gave him one command: dance for me. That single phrase was delivered with the kind of cold control McGregor is known for, and Perry's reaction said it all. The tension wasn't staged. It wasn't for laughs. Perry was boiling. What made this even more surreal is that McGregor wasn't there as a fighter. He was there as a boss, as in, the man who now co-owns the promotion Perry fights in. The moment started calm. Cameras were rolling. Fighters were seated. Then Conor entered like he owned the entire building, because he actually does. Since acquiring part ownership in BKFC, McGregor has been hinting at big moves, but this time he delivered them in person. When Mike Perry took the mic to speak about his October 11th return, McGregor cut him off and called him out, not for his fight plans, but for his attitude. "Dance for me," McGregor said, standing without a smile, looking Perry dead in the face. Everyone in the room froze. Perry leaned forward like he was about to stand but held himself back. The cameras caught his clenched fists and tight jaw. This wasn't showmanship. This was power, flexed in real time. But McGregor didn't stop there. Moments later, he announced BKFC's most ambitious move yet, a $25 million open-weight tournament, with some of the most dangerous names in bare-knuckle history included. Fighters from every division will be thrown into the same pool. No gloves, no weight classes, just pure violence. It's a structure that throws out traditional fight logic. And McGregor made it clear he's doing this to shake the system, not play by it. He also revealed a major new signing: Yoel Romero. The Cuban monster, former UFC middleweight title challenger, Olympic wrestler, and one of the most feared men in MMA, is now officially part of BKFC. McGregor personally welcomed him, called him the scariest signing in bare-knuckle history, and said Romero will debut under the open weight tournament format. This isn't just about putting together brutal fights. It's about bringing big names into a promotion that used to be dismissed as a fringe sideshow. With Romero now under the BKFC banner and McGregor directing traffic, the tone has completely shifted. All of this happened within a single event. Mike Perry's upcoming fight was originally the headline. Now it's just a footnote, because Perry wasn't just challenged in the cage. He was challenged publicly, verbally, and psychologically by the man signing his checks. McGregor made it very clear that Perry's return bout on October 11th will happen under his watch, and more importantly, under his rules. The dynamic has changed. Perry is still the king of violence, but McGregor is now the man writing the script. McGregor also teased that this is just the beginning. He mentioned future fighter crossovers, potential talks with Nate Diaz, and hinted at fighters who aren't allowed to be named yet, joining BKFC before the tournament begins. He described the $25 million pool as a fighter revolution and said the format will be pure survival. No politics, no rankings, just whoever walks out with their face still intact. This kind of structure not only draws in fans hungry for blood, it appeals to fighters tired of contracts and promotional blocks. One of the most telling moments came after the event, when McGregor posted on social media, "October 11th, Platinum Dances. I collect." Fans were divided, some laughing, others wondering if McGregor just challenged Perry publicly without even stepping in the cage. Because here's the reality. Even without fighting, Conor controlled the headlines. Perry, despite being the most violent man in BKFC, was left speechless. He didn't swing. He didn't trash talk. He just sat there, knowing that the man across from him doesn't just want to fight him. He owns the company that can decide whether he even gets booked again. This is the kind of moment that changes a fighter's path. McGregor has always used his mouth as a weapon, but now it carries actual business consequences. If he wants Perry to fight a specific name, it might happen. If he wants Perry to headline or get buried on the prelims, it's within his power. And that power shift is visible to everyone in the BKFC roster. McGregor isn't just a presence, he's the new standard. And for fighters like Perry, Romero, and anyone entering that $25 million tournament, there's now a second fight happening. One in the ring and one in the boardroom. Yoel Romero's addition to the roster isn't random. BKFC needs stars. Real stars, not just brawlers. And Romero brings both legitimacy and intimidation. McGregor acknowledged that Yoel is a super athlete, and that in bare knuckle, Romero might be more dangerous than he ever was in MMA. McGregor added that BKFC's new contracts offer fighters more freedom than UFC deals, and that several names from the UFC are already in talks. This is where the real war begins, not between fighters, but between promotions. UFC may have scale, but McGregor is positioning BKFC as the place where fighters have freedom, higher pay per fight, and fewer limitations. The most aggressive part of the press conference wasn't McGregor's words, it was his silence. After telling Perry to dance, he sat down and didn't say another word for minutes. He didn't repeat himself. He didn't laugh. He just stared forward while Perry sat stiff and quiet. The press room didn't know whether to treat it like a joke or an actual order. Because when the guy who owns the promotion tells you to perform, it's no longer a joke. It's your job. This power move marks a new chapter in combat sports. Conor McGregor is no longer limited to being a fighter. He's now positioned himself as a matchmaker, promoter, investor, and disruptor all at once. He's not asking for permission. He's making moves live and daring anyone to challenge him. And for fighters like Mike Perry, the line between respect and rebellion just got razor thin. You either fight McGregor or you fight for McGregor. There is no third option. The fallout from Conor McGregor's BKFC takeover didn't end when the camera stopped rolling. In the hours that followed, reactions poured in from fighters, managers, and fans. And one thing became clear. McGregor's grip on BKFC isn't symbolic, it's real. Fighters are already adjusting their posture, their interviews, even their tone online. Because when the guy signing your paycheck tells another fighter to dance for me in front of an entire summit and gets away with it, the message is loud. This is a new power structure. Mike Perry, who's usually the loudest guy in any room, hasn't clapped back. No Instagram rants, no press callouts. He walked into that summit thinking he was the face of BKFC. He walked out realizing he's now playing in someone else's arena, and that someone else doesn't need to fight him to beat him. He can simply move pieces behind the scenes. McGregor made it very clear with that one phrase that his presence isn't passive. He's in charge, and he wants everyone to know it. Yoel Romero's arrival isn't just about adding star power, it's about intimidation. Bringing in someone who was terrifying with gloves now into a bare-knuckle format sends a message to every fighter in BKFC. Your spot isn't safe. If Romero runs through people in the open weight tournament, he changes the whole tone of the promotion. McGregor didn't sign a flashy striker or a popular name for clicks. He brought in one of the most respected and feared veterans in the sport. And that makes the $25 million tournament more than a prize pool. It becomes a battlefield. McGregor also made it clear that more signings are coming. He hinted that several fighters still under UFC contracts are waiting for release clauses or negotiation windows to end. While he didn't name names, the implication was obvious. He's building something that could rival the UFC's energy, if not its size. Fighters on the fringe of UFC deals, or those frustrated with Dana White's structure, are already watching closely. Because BKFC now offers something else. visibility, money, and, most of all, freedom. Behind all the chaos, there's a very real strategic move happening. McGregor is flipping the formula. He's not trying to copy the UFC. He's creating a new path for fighters who are tired of waiting for main cards or being buried in early prelims. In BKFC, if you can sell tickets and swing hands, you get paid. Period. And with someone like McGregor at the helm, attention follows. Even if he never fights in BKFC himself, his name alone brings views. But it's the structure he's building underneath that could make this stick. The open weight format is a wild card, and that's the point. No weight cuts, no rankings, just raw fights. That kind of chaos is what made early UFC successful, and McGregor is now using it as a base to rebuild a modern fight promotion without old restrictions. And the $25 million prize? That's more than most UFC fighters see across multiple fights. For veterans, up-and-comers, or anyone stuck in promotional limbo, it's an invitation to jump ship. As for Perry, his silence speaks volumes. McGregor didn't just punk him in public. He demonstrated that Perry is now playing a supporting role in a story he used to headline.